Hi, everybody. Welcome back. I'm the Strategy Professor, and today we're going to be doing a GP coaching session. So thank you very much to David for the generous donation. I really appreciate it. Um, and yeah, first off, we're going to go over the runes that I recommend, items that I recommend, and then we'll talk a little bit about the post game. So I'll take some notes as we're watching it. As I say that, I need to make sure I have the pen close to me. Yep, we got it covered. And then I'll come back and bring like the top 5 to 10 things that David can do to improve his game. If you would like a coaching session yourself, just email me at thestrategyprofessor@gmail.com. More than happy to set that up for you. I do offer some other donation rewards as well if you're interested in contributing to support the channel. I could do an op.gg review during stream for $5. For $10, I'll play any champion that you want in a normal game during a stream. Sometimes people like to pay to have me sing random karaoke songs. I'm willing to do that for $10. If you would like a coaching session during the stream, so live commentary on something, then that's $25 just because it takes up a little bit of stream time, but it does give you instant feedback. And if you would like an in-depth guide for a champion or a topic of your choice, just, that's $25, and just email me and we can talk about that to make sure that you get what you want. Now, I do have quite a backlog of the guides. I'm trying to get them out as fast as I can, but, just email me if you're interested in that. I can give you some more details. If you want to watch more coaching games, I have a list here for you. And if you want to watch some in-depth champion guides, then I've got a playlist there for you as well. Okay, let's go ahead and get in here. So this is patch 8.5 that I'm recording this on, and this is what I recommend, and this is what a lot of top-level players are doing. Still going Klepto, Biscuit, Boots, Time Warp, Tonic, and then they go Bone Plating and Second Wind. So at GP, it's all about surviving and getting through the laning phase, which I'm sure David's aware of. David's a GP, pretty much a GP one trick from what I remember. I've done a handful of coaching sessions for David in the past on the channel. A lot of people still go in Klepto. There are some Grasp users out there. David told me this game he's going Grasp. He's trying it out. The advantage of Grasp, let's see if we pull it up here, is that does give you a little bit of extra sustain in lane. It's a lot more reliable. And yeah, you're gonna be getting more stats, and that's really good if you're gonna go Sterix pretty early, like Trinity Sterix. Popular build because Sterix, of course, scales off of your max health, the kind of shield that you get, so you want to have a bit more health. So this is kind of a tankier Gangplank. And also Sterix gives you a lot of health, so that Grasp will do more damage when you poke people, later on in the game with your pistol. So Sterix, interesting build. You're gonna have less gold off of Grasp. You're gonna have less gold off of Grasp, but it's a decent choice. My issue now with Grasp and what they changed on patch like 8.3, I think, or 8.4, I can't remember, is that the Resolve tree, going as your primary tree, is pretty trash right now because they moved this stuff around. So this is really bad. Like, Unflinching, Revitalize, and Overgrowth are just complete dead weight. I mean, I guess you would have to take Overgrowth, but this is really bad. Like, they need to change it to every 6 minions, and then it would be a little bit better. Then you'd at least know that you could get, 1/5% every wave. But as it stands right now, this just gives you virtually nothing. By the end of it, like 25, 30 minutes into the game, you might get 200 or 300 health, maybe. It's probably closer to like 200. It's just not worth it. It's terrible. So this tree used to be really good for Grasp when you could go Iron Skin plus Conditioning plus something in here, like Demolish or whatever. But now it's a lot worse. So what a lot of people are doing, and they changed around this tree as well, Inspiration, a bit. So they did nerf Kleptomancy, but they added in Time Warp Tonic, which makes this a little bit more appealing. I mean, it's interesting. So basically you have to pay, you have to use a rune to get this. But pretty much, like, I think a lot of people are going Klepto, Boots, Biscuit, Time Warp, and then they're starting Corrupting Potion. Because don't forget, this also applies to Corrupting Potion. And it applies to Biscuits, and it applies to any potions that you get off of Kleptomancy. So that's why I think a lot of people get Time Warp Tonic now. Cosmic Insight is useful. Obviously, having the 5% CDR is nice, but just having extra, Biscuit ticks, Corrupting Potion ticks, and Kleptomancy ticks is just really helpful. So a lot of people are going Klepto, Boots, Biscuit, Time Warp, and then Second Wind and Bone Plating as the secondary. This is kind of the new thing that virtually every role is going to start doing once they figure it out. I've even seen some 80 carries doing it. I was playing against a, what was it? I think it was a Zaya yesterday. And I was playing some kind of, I was playing Nami. So it was like a poke type of champion. And she took, as her secondary, Second Wind, Bone Plating, and she took Doran's Shield. And it was just, like, impossible to poke her out in lane. I was just almost completely worthless during the laning phase. Like, we eventually worked her down, but it took forever. And so I think a lot of lanes are going to start running this combination of Bone Plating and Second Wind. It's extremely good. So yeah, that's what I would probably do here. If you're going to go Grasp, I would go Grasp, Bone Plating, Second Wind, and then I guess Overgrowth, and then as a secondary, probably Biscuits and Time Warp. I just feel like this tree overall, after some of these changes, is going to be better than this tree as a primary. But yeah, that's what I would think about. And then Trinity, these are a couple of builds. I would almost, if you're going to go Grasp, you need to go Trinity Sterix. I'm pretty sure. And just kind of go for this tank plank type of build. Ghostblade is really nice. It kind of depends what you're up against. If you're up against a lot of tanks, if you think you're going to be split pushing, I don't know. Ghostblade is basically for split pushing because it allows you to escape. But you might need to get, I don't know. If you think you're going to be fighting tanks a bit more, you might need to get something like a Lord Dominic's or, Phantom Dancer or something like that. This one is a lot more damage, this sort of Static Shiv Infinity Edge build, if you're against a bunch of squishies, but I think kind of the Sterix GA Dominic is probably a little bit better utility if they have tanks on their team. But I would definitely figure out a way to get Sterix in there in your first 3 items if you're going to have Grasp, because Grasp should be giving you more health. And I'm not really sure about the trading patterns. Full disclosure, by the way, I'm not a GP one-trick. I've played GP a couple of times. But David knows this. Like I said, he's commissioned several videos for me. He's, my primary strength, I think, as someone who's a coach, is working on macro and just making good in-game decisions. I'm not going to be the best person for talking about very specific micro interactions in lane and very specific trades and, like, knowing it down to the percentage threshold, when you should be all-inning and trading and things like that. Like, I have an okay grasp of trading with Gangplank in some matchups and things like that, but, David's... and most people try to get my coaching because of the, insight into itemization, the insight into runes, and then the macro. But yeah, that's what most people are doing. It's some combination of inspiration and resolve. It's just a question of which one you want. Most people are still going Klepto, as you can see. I definitely don't like the airy builds. And then a lot of people, I think, are going... It's definitely Bone Plating and Second Wind, and I think most people are going Time Warp Tonic instead of Cosmic. And they're going Corrupting Potion, like I said. And I guess you would just slap this on if you're just hurt a little bit. And whenever this is ticking, don't forget, you want to go up and cue them to the face as much as you can. One problem with GP and one issue I could see with this build is, like, you need mana really early because those Qs cost a lot more mana later on. So... This does give you mana back, though. I mean, this does give you 225 mana each time you use it. I think the reason they're doing this is because they have Time Warp Tonic, and it just becomes a lot more efficient. So you get 20% more mana than that says. So, you get like 260, 270 mana out of it. So that's pretty legit. You'll notice here that he actually is going Sterix second anyways, even though he is also going Klepto. Sterix plus Trinity is extremely strong. Like, it's very good poke, and it makes you a lot more sustainable, a lot tankier. And then he's getting the Ghostblade later, and the Mortal Reminder. So it's kind of matchup dependent, probably. He was against Vladimir in that game, but... So what Impact was doing here. Yeah, that's pretty much the standard what most people are getting. And you know the skill order. It's always Q, E, and then W. But yeah, pretty much everybody's, that's what they're going for. So, Okay, let's go ahead and get in here and see what we have, see what we're working with. Okay, so I muted the game. We'll pull that up real quickly. Some people were saying the game was a bit loud yesterday, so I'll turn it down a little bit. And I tried to add some gain to the mic to sort of rebalance so that my voice is not as quiet. Like, it's always a struggle to make my voice loud enough, because I have to turn up the gain if I want to do that, or yell, which I'm already kind of loud enough. But the problem with that is you can pick up, like, the, you know, the buzz of my computer, or just stuff that's going on in other rooms, like the baby crying, or, like, you know, my wife stomping around like she likes to do in the hallway. I just messaged. She doesn't stomp around the hallway, but you could hear the baby crying more, like toilets flushing, or, you know, my computer buzzing or whatever. So the sound carries pretty well over the hardwoods. But that's why I took the gain off.
30 seconds until minions spawn.
Anyways, so let me know about the sound if you think there's something that could be improved a little bit. Okay, so we're helping volley out. So we're against the Tom Kench here. Okay, the big thing to notice here is that he has 2 combat summoners, so he has Ghost and Exhaust, so you really don't want to fight him. You should have a major advantage later in the game because he doesn't have Teleport. He will have his ult, but this is kind of a troll lane. You want to make sure that he never is able to eat you, so if he tongue lashes you, you need to eat oranges and get out of that, so he can't eat you. Something you might consider boot-wise against Tahm Kench would be Boots of Swiftness. Like, that's really weird for GP, but it does reduce the slow duration, and it does reduce the slow itself, and gives you more movement speed so that you can get away. The only way that Tahm Kench is ever going to kill you is if he eats you. Now, what did you start with? Okay, you did start corrupting. Can't see if you went. I think you went. You said you went grasp. Yeah. Keep that going. Then every time that's available, just shoot him in the face. Yeah. Just in this lane, I would just try to get a defensive position, try to freeze the wave, like right here. Okay, good. You did take the bone plating. Run, don't trade, just run. Okay, good. God, that mana cost is so brutal. That Q nerf early on. It really is. Like, that was over the top. Come on, Rito. I honestly did not think GP was that much of a problem. I mean, to an extent, yes, he did need to be nerfed a little bit, but I think that Q nerf was pretty extreme. Anyways. We can't change that, just try to work around it. I thought the barrel stuff was fine, and just, you know. I guess that's only really, like, super bad, like, early on, because, you know, as you level up, it's going to be more, but it's going to cost you less mana. It's going to be more affordable. Now, I don't know if you got Time Warp or not, but it looks like you're probably going very close to what I suggested. And if you have Grasp as your main, Overgrowth is the only other one that makes sense. Okay, this is not... I mean, this is going by the book so far. Now, Sterix does not have cooldown reduction on it, though, so that is definitely a thing. You should probably just go ahead and back. I mean, he's going to be here. Now, you have Teleport and he doesn't, though, so yeah, you want to push this up as fast as you can, although, you know, you don't have enough mana, really, to do a lot. Okay, I need to take off the... You don't have enough for oranges, too, so if he eats you, you could be in big trouble. I probably would have backed... This is super risky. Like, you gotta know something weird's going on here, right? Because he isn't back yet. Flash, 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 flash. That's too late. Yeah, so let's back up a little bit. You gotta flash. If he comes running at you like that, you have to flash the first tongue lash. If you have oranges, you can eat out of his thing, but I don't think you had enough mana for it. I'm pretty sure you can orange out of his suppression. I'm almost 100% you can. So yeah, if... Okay, so a couple of things there. Number one, it should be super suspicious that he's not back in lane after one wave. Because remember, it only takes people like one wave to walk back. It's like 30 seconds. So if he's not back after one more wave hits... Let me back up a little bit here. So I would have backed... Let me see. So remember you had teleport. I probably would have backed even before this. I don't know what your... Okay, it is pushing towards him, so... How much gold do you have? I think it's X. And Sheen is 1100, right? So you have enough for Sheen. I think Sheen's 1100. Yeah, as long as you have enough for Sheen, that's all that really matters here. But yeah, definitely after this one, you need to go ahead and, like, alarm should be going off in your head. This is weird, and you need to back. Once you see him running up like that, as soon as he tongue lashes, you flash right there, flash. Definitely before he gets that third hit on you, and you would have been fine. So, like, even if he hits you with the tongue lash and you flash before he gets the third auto, you would have been fine. Okay, let's go ahead and we'll speed that back up. Okay, so you get Sheen, right? Is it not 1100 for Sheen? Am I mistaken? Maybe it's Sapphire plus 1100. It might be Sapphire plus 1100. I'm just so used to starting with Mana Crystal, not Sapphire. I'm used to starting with Mana Crystal. Which that is a problem if you go corrupting, is that, and that's a lot of people are going corrupting, but that it does, you know, it's going to take you a lot more time to complete your Sheen, and that's really a big item. At this point, I would probably just try to set up barrels, just to farm as much as you can. Don't try to freeze it right here. Yeah, so don't thin it out too much. Go ahead and set some barrels down. At this point, you're never going to kill him, pretty much. So, you just want to try to farm as much as you can with those barrels. Don't even worry about hitting him. Like, you're going to do, like, no damage to him. Especially if you don't have the grass proc. If you have the grass proc going, then maybe you can Q him just for some health. But if you don't have grasp going... Yeah, I mean, like I said, I think at this point, you know, you should be just trying to thin the wave as much. Just, like, try to get the wave as low as you can and then use barrels to see if you can kill, you know, 2 or 3... minions at once with the barrels. Like right here would be a great place to set up a barrel, and then just thin this out and see if you can kill all 3 of those with the barrel just so you get more gold. Like, just find any way you can just to squeak more gold out, because it's just going to be a farm off. Yeah, you do need some wards down. I know you're a little scared, too. You got Sheen? Okay. I mean, the good news is you are farming with him, so... You know, you're not under any, like... insane pressure to, like, kill this guy in lane, because you're going to be a lot more useful than he will be later in the game, probably. Now, make sure that you're actually, like, killing the minions with the barrel. I know you're just trying to thin him a little bit there, but... Be careful here, don't push this up. Remember that guy has Ghost. So you know he's going to try some troll stuff like that again. Yeah, here he goes. And he has ult. Flash, 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 flash. You're holding that flash way too long. That's something that I definitely want you to work on. Is like just know when you're beaten, when it's really bad, and just use the flash early. Like so many times, I think we want to hold our flash until like, you know, late, like till the last second. But so many times, I think that you should just flash. Like if the situation's really bad and you're probably gonna have to flash anyways, it's better to flash and still have 90% of your health left than to flash at 10%. Keep in mind, if they want to try to kill you, they're going to have to use flash too if you flash most of the time. So it's not even that bad if you flash and die. Because they're going to have to flash after you. And so it's better just to try to do that at, you know, 80%. And they're less likely to come after you to try to kill you. If you flash at 80%, they're a lot less likely to flash after you because they're going to think, okay, well, I got his flash at least. Whereas if you wait until 10%, yeah, they're going to flash after you, probably. So, like, what should have happened there is as soon as Tahm Kench, you see that rolling up, you need to flash, and then once he tongue lashes you, you need to use your oranges to eat out of it. And I definitely, okay, you do have boots there, but I would get tier 2 boots, whatever you decide to do. I think that the boots of swiftness would probably be what I would recommend here. It gives you more speed and it gives you slow resistance. Now look at his items too, and he comes, I don't know if you can see this yet, when he comes back he has Righteous Glory, so he's definitely looking to, you know, run at you. Now we just saw Jax over here too, so you need to back up. They're going to come kill you again. Tahm Kench probably has his ult back. And they're going to do this all day. You cannot push up against Kench. Remember, Kench's ult is on like a 120-second cooldown. So if he gets an advantage like that in lane, and he can definitely 1v1 you, which he can, you can't push up. If the lane's pushed up like that, you just have to leave. Just go, like, do Gromp or Wolves, or, you know, maybe try to gank middle. Something, but you can't be up in lane. I mean, anything's better than dying, really. Play around your strength, like, figure out who's strong on your team right now. So, Kai'Sa's doing really well. Her build is garbage, but... okay, that's a good ult. Yeah, just push this guy in. Or don't push him in, but just, like... if he'll let you farm here under tower, that's what you want to do. But if the lane is pushed in, you need to leave. So yeah, the biggest takeaway is to flash faster. And if Tahm Kench teleports behind you, that's a flash situation. That's a oops, I got goofed, you know. You just have to be aware when he's off the map that he's probably teleporting on you or somebody else. That's just an old Tahm Kench trick. He loves to do that because his teleport, it's on like, you would think it would be a much longer cooldown, so we're used to like TF having, you know, like 180-second cooldown, or they may have even made TF like a 200-second cooldown. I can't remember. That might have been Karthus. But we're used to most globals being like 3 minutes, right? But Tahm Kench is 2 minutes. So it's deceptively short. It's a lot shorter than you would think on that ultimate. It looks like you're probably going Mercs. I don't think that Mercs are going to help you that much. I mean, it's possible. You are against the Ziggs and a Brand, so yeah, I mean, I guess Mercs is alright. You know, that doesn't lower the slow amount, and that doesn't give you a lot of speed, but that does lower the stun amount. It lowers the duration that you're slowed, but it doesn't lower the slow amount. Alright, you need to ping that Kench is missing. You need to ping that, because he could, I mean, he could be, like, right here right now, thinking about teleporting down there. He could have based, and he could be running up there right now. Yeah, you need to tell him to get back. He's doing something sneaky. Yeah, there you go. Just push this in, then just rotate over here or something. Swiftness will also help you rotate, because you just move a lot faster. So it's kind of like a Moby Boots Light. It's a really weird boot. We don't usually get that a lot of times. But it would help you out of a lot of these situations. I mean, you might just straight up be able to walk away from this guy. No, there's no way you beat him. You have to run. Orange out. You can orange out of his eat. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's like the third time he's got you pushing up. You can't do it against him. If you have Boots of Swiftness, and he ports up behind you, and you use your oranges to get out of his... Once he slows you with his Q, use your oranges to get rid of that slow. You might be able to get away with pushing up, maybe. But it still is going to be extremely rough. He might still be able to kill you here. Maybe not. Okay, that's a good hold. I mean, you're still keeping up with him in farm, and that's good, but... Jax is coming up here. If someone sticks around and they're low and it's like, it looks ridiculous, it's probably because they have help coming. 9 times out of 10. It could be that they're, you know, just really bad, but most of the time, it's not going to be the case. He ulted somewhere. That's what it sounded like. It looked like that was his back animation, but... No, he didn't ult. Okay, so... You know, what? He's probably going to port behind you again. Now, you do have Kesa here. Orange out. There you go. Okay. Or Kaisa. I keep calling her Kesa, like she's a quesadilla or something. Kaisa. Kaisa is pretty fed, so you probably need to try to work around Kaisa. Okay, good. You got that down. You got 2 minutes on... probably was not worth ulting. Let me see how low are people. You really want to save that ult for like a big team fight. Like, you don't want to try to snipe out single kills. Yeah, no. He's gonna get out. Because now you're not gonna have that ult if you want to go contest Rift, or if you want to team fight around this tower to get it or something. It's just, it's not worth it. Even if you get that kill, if you get it, maybe it's worth it, but it's close. It's potentially not even worth it if you get the kill, because then you're not gonna have it for the big team fight. Yeah, y'all probably need to back up. Try to get Rift. So if you orange out of his his W, I'm pretty sure that you still take the damage. I'm not 100% about that, but I'm pretty sure you'll still take the 32% damage. I think. I'm not 100% about that. But I think that in general, it's just better if you can orange out of his slow, because he's not going to be able to catch you after the slow unless he properly chains his CC. Like if he uses his Righteous Glory and then waits until you orange it and then he Qs you after that. But he's not doing that. He's just spamming all of his abilities on you is what it looks like to me at least. So you're too slow right now though. You definitely need some kind of boots too. Either Mercs or Swiftness. Like the name of the game with Tom Kench is just, you know, don't let him get close enough to eat you. Like, that's pretty much it. If he doesn't do that, then he's pretty much worthless. As a top laner. Oh, we get Dragon. Drag. Or at least defend Dragon. Don't let Jax go down there and solo it. If you kill Jax, you can get it. Does she have it? Oh, she missed her stun. He might be able to kill her. No, he's running. Okay. Yeah, come down here and get this. Bot lane's pushing up. You got him pushed in. I don't know if you have any wards available. No, you don't. Okay. If stuff starts getting crazy, you might have to flash over this wall, so always think about an exit plan. What happens if they collapse, you know? Okay, good. So we got Ginsu's Wither and King. What do you get next? Alright, going for the blade. Yeah, you need to ping them back. Ping them back. They're dead. Okay, so you need to try to push this up. They might go for Baron after they kill all of them. Okay, wow, they got out. Okay, ping them back. Like, God. Y'all just got out. Please, just leave. I kind of do like... Okay, that was a good ult. That's a team fight. I don't even think I would have come down there, honestly, but I would have probably just ulted and just pushed. Okay, good. Go push. Just go push something. Go push bot lane. I guess back. You just gotta kill. Back, and then go push one of these lanes. You do have teleport up, so. Go wherever Jax isn't. Yeah, I kind of like Ghostblade here, because then you can just run away. Like, just push and run. What is she doing? Y'all desperately need some vision in here. Oranges might clear fish. I'm not 100% about that, but they might even clear the fish. So once he gets 3 fish on you, you can just even clear that up. I think oranges might even clear fish. So once you get those 3 fish stacked on you, just orange and get rid of the fish. Before he even eats you. Could be an option. So actually, I want to look and see if it still does the damage, just for my own edification here. I think if you orange, now it's going to be difficult to tell because you're gaining health at the same time that he's dealing damage to you. You got a shield on you. Nice, you're at about half. Yeah. It does do damage. So when he eats you, it still does the damage to you. You just get out of the snare. So it does not prevent the damage. So in that case, it is better to just remove the fish or remove the slow and get away from him so that he can't stack you anymore. So yeah, eating after he's already oranged you is not a good sort of damage prevention. You know, it's not good for trading. It's good if he's going to spit you back into his team. But in general, just remove the slow, remove the fish, and run. I'm about 99% certain that it removes the fish, because I've played a lot of Tom Catch, and I feel like GP has removed my fish before. And it's really annoying. This guy's just losing his mind now. Okay, so the big threat is Brand here. So now Mercury Treads. Mercury Treads make more sense here because you're against the Brand and the Ziggs. And in the late game, I think Swiftness for laning would have helped, but I don't know. Swiftness also helps better with split pushing, which you can outsplit Tom. God, what is he building? Just come down here. Now, once again, you know, I'd still think Swiftness and just better positioning so you don't get hit by, you know, Brand and Ziggs would probably be better. Sterix will also give you some resilience there. But yeah, you don't want to push up too close. If you have Ghostblade plus Swiftness, you could get away from a Tahm Kench teleport. But yeah, you got to watch out for that. It does kind of limit your splitting a little bit, but... Oh, you're murdering him on CS, also. BF Sword's a bit ambitious. I really think, and I know you've, I'm pretty sure you've talked to me about how much you don't like Sterix, but I really think that Sterix is your friend here, especially against something like a Ziggs or a Brand. Like, it's so much damage. It really is with Trinity. Like, you're probably gonna go Infinity Edge here, I would assume, but you know, it's just, it's such a great item. Like, that shield is so ridiculous. It's just really good for team fighting. Gives you extra sustain, especially if you have Grasp. You're stacking up a little bit of extra health. Remember that your Q does a percentage of your max health damage to them. So the more health you have, the more damage your Q is going to do. And the Sterix makes your Trinity deal 50% more damage. So, I mean, it's going to make your Qs hit like a truck. Now, not as much as like an Infinity Edge crit on a Q, sure. But you get so much extra utility out of it. Okay, you gotta go. Cleanse the W, or cleanse the Q. Wait, just let that land, then cleanse the Q. Okay, he held his Q. There you go. Okay, good job. I think you should be acid now. Omega Toilet Man. Check his name. I thought that was Janna for a second with Brylides. I was like, what? Okay, that looks a little more Janna-esque. Yeah, you are farming it up. That's good. You're up about 100 CS. Yeah, good. You don't want to get too caught up in that crap. That was good positioning on the outside there. Ziggs and Brand, you know, they're going to be just chucking a bunch of area AoE stuff on you. Hey, thanks for the sub. I appreciate it. Okay, good save. Good save on that Janna. That barrel. Yeah, get bot tower, bot tower, bot tower, bot tower.
Shut down.
Well, how many? Ah, there are 4 dead. You're right. You should go middle. Baron minions. I think you have time. Caitlyn's down. She can't trap wall you. Start setting up barrels. Yeah, you're gonna have to leave here, Sam. No, hold on to those barrels. They're all gonna come running at you. No, Janna. Yeah, run. I would have just set up some barrels here because they're gonna come running at you just to zone them off. If you hit Tom Kench with a barrel, it's not gonna matter. Not in that context. But just having them for that slow and that sort of like, you know, escape route there. Run, no. People just getting wacky. Alright. Hold on, Baron. I think just working working top lane. Y'all need to group up and work something though. Yeah, you're right. Push this up, push middle up, and then go and work a side lane. Yeah, just go top. And I say top lane because if you get top pushed in and middle's pushed in, it makes it really hard for them to come and contest Baron. And then you're already really close to Baron, too. Yeah, she got caught and killed. Y'all need to leave. You need to... Everybody spread out randomly. They're gonna all come up here for you. I think you're gonna get collapsed on. I would get out of here. You're not gonna get this tower right in front of all that. Just think about it that way. There's virtually no way you get that tower. You did get a kill. Huge redemption. It's so ridiculous. Alright. I mean, she just basically full healed your whole team twice. Once she gets those triple healing items. Yeah, just get out of there. Get out of there. What's this dragon? Water. Well, I mean, you do it. 3 of them are dead. Tom's pushed in. Okay, okay. So, yeah, they goofed up a lot there. There's no way y'all should have been able to do that. They just overcommitted and chased. Yeah, now get out, get out, get out, get out. Way more than y'all should have been able to get. You don't want to get too greedy. No, I'd keep running. Well, Case is there. I don't even know what's going on in this game. Like, I don't know how you guys are winning these fights. Like, all of you are at, like, 1% HP. Maybe not that low, but, like, they're screwing something up. They're really misplaying some stuff. Oh, good job. He's walking in. I'm like, nah, back up, you know, like 5 minutes ago, but they just keep running at you, like filing in single file. That Janna Redemption and then Ultimate that healed your team for like 10,000 or, you know, not that much, but that's what it looked like. That was really clutch to help you continue that. But overall, yeah, I mean, I think your play is really solid outside of the laning phase, right? So I think the laning phase is where you need to work on most of your stuff, and it's pretty straightforward, pretty simple stuff to fix, I think. You know, the mechanics are pretty good. You miss a couple of barrels every now and then, whatever, you know. The mechanics are good. It's just the your itemization was fine. Ghostblade's okay because it lets you split and get away when Tahm Kench warps behind you. Mercury Treads are good for combat. Swiftness are better for splitting against Tahm because it lowers the slow duration and it lowers not only the duration but the intensity of the slow. So virtually nobody gets these boots anymore. But against champions that are really heavily reliant on their slows, and these can be good options. So it reduces the effectiveness of slows by 25%. So it doesn't reduce the duration, but it reduces the effectiveness. It gives you 55 movement speed. So it only gives you 10 more movement speed. I guess Mercs are probably better. It reduces the duration of crowd control effects by 30. I guess Mercs are probably better. It's just landing phase, I felt like Swiftness would have helped a lot against his Q, but maybe Mercs are better. Either way, Mercs are fine, I think. But the biggest thing here is so don't push up against Kench if he has ult, and spoiler alert, he almost always has ult. Because it's on like 120-second cooldown before CDR, so yeah, just don't push up against him. Especially because he's taking those troll summoners. You know, he's got Ghost. What was it? Ghost and Exhaust. He's not even taking TP, so you know, so he can run you down and exhaust you and, you know, cause all these problems. So, you know, he's clearly looking to get some assassination picks on you, right? He's picking specifically to exploit you if you push up off of his ult with Ghost and all that stuff. So that's number one. Don't push up against him. Let me see if this works. I'm pretty sure it cleanses fish. This is not the most scholarly place here. Okay, I can't find it really quickly here, but I'm about 99% sure that it cleanses the fish off. If it doesn't, you need to be cleansing the Q, I think is the biggest thing. Um, so let him push into you, but like prep the minion wave such that you can get as many kills as you possibly can. So if they're like pushed into the tower, if a wave's pushed into your tower, just like solo hit the last, like the ranged minions, just hit them one at a time, and then hit, a couple of times on the melee minions, and then and then set up a barrel, and then just try to blow and see if you can hit like, 3 or 4 of them at once. So just try to use that barrel to get as many different CS as you can early on. I know it's kind of tricky to do, but there were a couple times where, thinning the wave is okay too, so it doesn't hit your tower with the barrels, but, I just wouldn't even really go for Tahm Kench at that point a lot of the time. Maybe after you get the Sheen, you can, try to hit him a few times, but definitely if you're going to hit him, make sure you have a grasp, so it's at least worth it. So go up and, like, auto-attack a minion and just wait, like, 4 seconds, and then grasp hit him. So that way you're at least getting some health and dealing some extra damage to him. So I know I tell this to you all the time, so, it's up to you, but virtually everybody's going to get Sterex. Especially if they have Grasp. Not everybody. I guess there are some people. As soon as I say that, of course, like, there aren't as many people, but it's a very powerful and popular item. I know it doesn't look like much, but that 50% base attack damage is just so strong because it also applies to Trinity. And it gives you the extra tenacity, which stacks with Mercury Treads when it triggers, and that huge shield is very helpful so that you don't get instantly blown up by things like a Ziggs or a Brand or even a Tahm Kench spit you out with W. Like, this will block a lot of that stuff. It's only a 1-minute cooldown. So, not everybody gets Sterex, but as you can see, it's a very, very popular item on Kench. So I would fit it somewhere into your rotation. If not right after Trinity, then like one other item and then Sterex. Maybe as a third or a fourth item. It's also something to consider. Let's see. I'll just say third item. Especially if you're going to have Grasp, because once again, Grasp is going to give you health, and it's going to do damage based on your max health, which is going to increase your shield on Steric, and the Steric health is going to make your Grasp deal more damage. And, let's see, what else do I have? I think that's... Oh, did I say Flash sooner? Okay, we got to say that too. So if the situation looks bad, just use your flash, Like, yeah, there might be some situations where you burn it and you don't have to, but it's much better to burn it earlier, because if you burn it too late, they may not even have to flash after you to kill you. If they just hit you with one last projectile when you flash, they may not even have to burn their flash. If you flash early, then they are going to have to flash after you. At a minimum, they're going to have to flash after you to kill you, and they may not even kill you, depending on what you flash, right? So earlier on, after Tahm Kench, landed that, well, I would say as soon as he, like, you see him bubbling up behind you, just run and flash. And then whenever he hits you with his Q, just W and cleanse it away. So that's just a thing in general that I think a lot of people, they're way too conservative with their summoners. Just flash. You'll notice whenever I'm fighting also with, like, Ignite, for example, if it's going down, if people are going to die, I'm going to Ignite early. And the reason is I want to Ignite before they heal. because then that cuts their healing in half, because so many people just wait until the last minute to use their heal. So it's the same with all summoners. People just hold on to them way too long, and I'm guilty of doing that too. There'll be some fights where I'll just hold my exhaust. I'm really bad about it with exhaust. Like, ignite, almost always use ignite if the fight's going down. Like, exhaust, I'm like, well, maybe we can kill him without exhaust. I should try to hold exhaust for this situation or that situation. Most of the time it's correct. If there's going to be a fight to the death, just use your summoners. And yeah, that's pretty much all I had for you. I think I only saw you do this once this game, maybe twice. I didn't see them all, which is a lot better. I think in the past videos that I've done with you, you know, you certainly did it maybe a couple more times in a game where you're trying to pick off like a person who was low with your ult, or you're like trying to slow somebody down who's running away or something with your ult so that someone could catch him. And that's just a really like sketchy way to use GP ult. You really want to use that ult for a team fight, right? So when there's, you know, 2 or 3 people from each side that are just like in a fight, then that's when you want to use your ult, especially around objectives. So, you know, if you want to contest a tower or a Rift Herald or a dragon, something like that, you need to have your ult ready. So it's not worth it to use the ult, as I showed in there, to try to pick somebody off if you're about to fight over a tower or a Rift Herald or a dragon. Now, their team didn't really punish you that hard for that. They didn't force a fight. Like, you know, a better organized team is going to notice, hey, GP just used his ult, let's go fight, you know, if possible. So they didn't punish you that hard for using your ult like that. But in general, you know, as you move up, you want to make sure that you're saving that ult for team fights whenever you can. And yeah, I think that's about it. So yeah, in the lane, you know, I think the biggest thing was just not getting caught. It's just recognizing that. That's another thing I can put down. I know I keep saying adding more stuff, but okay, so check the items and summoner spells. Just make sure and try to interpret what they're doing. Okay, so like, for instance, the Tom Kench, right? Like, you didn't have vision of him when you were pushing up, and that's dangerous in the first place. But if you look at the first time that you got caught, but if you look at his summoners, you can tell he's going to try to do something cheesy to you, right? Because he's got Ghost. He doesn't have a teleport. He has Ghost Exhaust, which means he's going to try to look to all in and catch you out a lot in lane. So you need to interpret that. You need to say, okay, this guy's going to try to cheese me. He's going to like rush for an all-in sometime early. He doesn't have teleport, so I can beat him later in terms of macro. I just need to not die to him early. You see his runes too. He took press the attack, which means that he's really looking to get in there and try to get kills. Once again, so a lot of Tom Kench's, you know, top lane would probably go something like Grasp, but he's going for press the attack, which means he's looking to be a lot more aggressive than normal. So, you know, just, I don't know if you were doing that or not, but just, you know, look at that and take that into account and just say, okay. Or if the person has Ignite top lane, you know they're going to try to kill you all in. And if you can just survive the laning phase, you're going to be much stronger late game because you have teleport and because you're GP. But yeah, just see that stuff. Just say, okay, do they have anything other than teleport flash? If yes, they're probably going to try to cheese you top lane. So just keep that in mind. And then also watch out for Tom Kench's ult, as I mentioned before. Yeah, overall, I thought pretty good. You had pretty good game sense, pretty good macro there. It seemed like most of the time you're in the right place at the right time. Really making some good contributions to the team fights. So I thought your macro was really on point this game. It was just, you know, just not getting caught early, which I think was the biggest thing to work on. Hopefully these things will help you out, like watching out for cheese, flashing a lot sooner, using your cleanse on his tongue lash rather than his devour. Considering Sterex, which once again is a great defensive item. So yeah, overall I think you're definitely improving, definitely moving up, and hopefully this will give you a few more ways to help you move up even more. So thank you very much, David. Greatly appreciate it. Anyone else, if you want a coaching session, just email me at thestrategyprofessor@gmail.com. And otherwise, I'll see you next time. Have a good day.